Hello and welcome back everyone to part 2. We will be continuing on our process of trying to create the scene inside Blender. We have created some things and we are going to continue on those things. So let's get right into it. So how to design a brick? I think it's fairly easy. We can just connect a cube here, over here, and just drop the height to 0.5 and drop the y to 0.5 as well, right? And then add a extrude mesh, maybe individual, but like this way, something like this, right? So yeah, let's just stick with something like this. So this is one brick. Can group this and just connect the size input and the offset input here, right? And this is a brick. We're gonna create a circle, whatever, mesh circle, curve circle, doesn't matter. And we're gonna go instance on points, and we can just instance these bricks over there, right? Now, of course, too many. We don't want that many, of course. The size of the circle is also too big. I think we can just make it like 0.25 or something. Random value to scale here. Change it to like 0.25 to 0.75 or something. And for the rotation, I'm gonna go align rotation to vector, connect the tangent as the vector, and then just try to sorry, I plugged it in the factor. Yeah, I think this is the kind of rotation we want. Let's change this to 0.5 to 0.75. And then just match the circle. Like, of course, we can find out like a math node to do this. I'm gonna add a vector math here. Change this to multiply. Change all of this to 1. Connect this to this guy. And I'm just gonna change the effect on the Z to 0. Okay. Better yet, I'm gonna go combine XYZ. Change X and Y to 1, and I'm just gonna apply the random value on this guy, right? So now our curve can be exactly whatever we want. And then I'm gonna go to a repeat zone, connect this here, connect this guy here. And in the repeat zone, I'm gonna add a transform geometry. And then connect it back over here, because repeat zone, you need to join the geometry for a repeat zone. And then I think I already have like 16 instances. It has doubled up, but it's right over the top. So we're gonna raise it up something like this. I think 0.25 is the Z, so 0.25 here. Oh, that's too much. Actually, it's gonna be 0.2 or something, because it's 0.25 multiplied by 0.75. So let's just visually match it to whatever is the best possible. And then we're gonna rotate this to a certain angle that is acceptable. Let's kill this actually. Let's just go with whatever is the scale right now. Let's arrange this properly. So 0.25 will be the exact width. We can just arrange whatever way we want, something like this. And that's gonna be it. Add a join geometry, add this curve circle, and let's say we want to, let's open this, say fill curve. So it'll be filled up, then add a transform and lift it up a bit, right? So that's it. This is gonna be the bonfire base, and we can then delete this and bring this guy inside our bonfire group, right? So of course this guy is above the threshold, So we can just kind of, first of all, we do need to decrease the size of everything here, right? So two ways to go about it. Either we can do like a scale value over here, and I think that's going to be the easiest. Something like this, and then something like, I think we need to decrease the brick dimensions overall because this is just nuts. So let's go with 0.25, 0.15, 0.15. And then we can reduce the radius of this circle as well. Disconnect this, and here 0.15. We have 16 instances. If we go 0, I think 0 is fine. We don't need the repeat zone, honestly. So let's just connect this guy directly. So there's no need for a repeat zone here. Let's see. I'm going to save this actually and then duplicate this and clean this as a backup because I really like that, honestly. But now let's go for something different, which can have some kind of a flattish base, maybe around this or somewhere. Yeah, okay, something like that, I guess. So in that case, our guy actually moves to that side. On the Y, we can bring it here. Where is our... Oh, we haven't connected it. Okay. Increase the size here to something of this much, I guess. Yeah. And then we can adjust the size and everything over here. Let's push this back a little over here. Yeah. And then we can try to just match it to the ground to the best of our abilities. 0.951 or 0.953, not enough. 0.955, probably more than we need. Now, there could be an argument that this is huge compared to the dudes that we have. So let's drop the scale a little more, something like this, 0.88. And then we can place our guys here. So this guy is laying quite flat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here and let's try to position them. We can actually just title these so that, you know, we have kind of a rough idea. So this is the, and then this is the sitting dude. Right, scale is same for both so that we don't make an error on their scales. Let's fix this guy's position as well now. So I think he's sitting somewhere over here facing this side, right? Both of them are facing this side. Okay, yeah, so he's kind of overlooking him. Or we can, should we send him towards that side, right? Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, I think that just might work, and then we can put some other things over here. First, I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this as well, and I'm gonna bring these guys up. Not that. I'm gonna bring this up here, and then I can connect it. As for the terrain, and to add a natural element to it, I think first we need to create some kind of a deeper depression here, and I'm thinking if we could do something if we could do something like this, it'll be great, right? So if we take a quadratic bezier and we just give it a curve to mesh, give it a circle profile, curve circle. And then if we use a set position and use this as a proximity, what do we get? Okay, so that guy is sitting below. I think we need to change this to 0. And let's change everything to 0 for now. So, I mean, of course, right now they're down at the base. I'm going to just add a transform here and lift it up over here, right? Okay, so instead of proximity, let's do a recast and say is hit, and then just give it a depression slightly. Let's change this to vector. And how far did we push it? 2 meters, right? Let's reduce it. And so I need a viewer to visualize where we are. Oh, okay. I mean, we are somewhere, but we have no height or width, right? So let's just say y minus 2 to y plus 2, right? So like a straight line. And then I can see what kind of effects this is having. Okay, so that's a very, very deep depression that it has caused. We're going to reduce this slightly. Something like this. And I'm going to change this to just like something like this. So we can see that it is working, but we need to, of course, change the direction. So let's get it a little bit of minus x here on the start. Okay, this is the start. Got it. And if this is the start, then this guy needs to be here. And then the end can be something like this. Yeah, actually, this is actually what I had in mind. So let's increase this a little bit, that bit over here. Now we can, of course, pull that start point a little bit more towards us, something like this, right? And then send this guy slightly over here. If we connect this guy to the original, right? So we go join geometry and we just click this like this. We have essentially a river. Again, we have this selection and we can use this. So let's just first make some space here, and we can pull this guy as a group on its own over here and make it like this so that we know what's happening. And we'll need a material for this as well, a material for this, right? So we'll decide the materials later. I'm gonna add a instance on points over here, and then I can add another join geometry here, connect this guy to that, and then instance on points on what? So we connect this guy here, and I'm gonna plug this guy as a selection. Actually, before that, I'll add another node, distribute points on faces, plug this here and plug the selection, and then mute this. So now, as you can see, the points are only on the river. Now, of course, we can leave this here as to some points, of course, should be there at the bottom of the river. Or we can connect this because this is the land, right? So now if I increase this thing, I'm only getting on the edges mostly, right? But of course, we need to delete some points. Add a math node here. Connect this here. Make this 0. We'll compare the x dimension here. Separate x, y, z and position. So now we are sampling the x position, and we just have to tell it to go less than. So let's change this to multiply. Is there interference? Not here. There is interference here. So before we go any further, let's add some rocks here. And how do we create rocks? Well, it's pretty easy. So we just go icosphere, change its size to like 0.01 or sorry, 0.05. Not all rocks are round, right? So let's just do the same things we've been doing with pretty much everything. I'm just gonna isolate the node base mesh right now, and I'm gonna reduce the annotations. Because this is very small, we can just zoom in here a little bit to see what's going on. Let's just go for a set position here. On the offset, I'm going to connect vector math scale and add a normal node to this and add a noise texture. And of course, a math node, that is the multiply node. And I'm gonna put this here. Let's reduce this, and this will give us a little bit of a variation in our rock. Let's increase the scale so that the differences can be visible in the stone itself. Take it up to like 20, 30, something like that. We can add another vector math here, and this is gonna be multiply. And I'm just gonna feed some arbitrary numbers here, just like we just don't want like a circular rock. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna see how this looks smooth shaded. It's 1280 faces in that small a rock. I'm gonna drop this down to 3 because we don't need that many. And even 320 is a lot, honestly. Yeah, let's drop the detail. And then we have this. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think that's good for now. Cool. So let's come out now. And instead of the icosphere, I'm going to connect this guy over here and go back to looking at everything. So just delete this. And as you can see, everything's blown out of proportion because, of course, we have a size issue here. Let's pack things up. And now I'm gonna add just a random value. 2 of them I'm gonna grab. One I'm gonna connect to the rotation, and this is gonna be 0 to tau. Tau, as I've already explained, tau is the 360-degree angle. It's twice of pi. So if you feed in tau, you're feeding 0 to tau, a random value on every dimension of rotation, x, y, and z. And then we're going to feed a random value to scale. And this one is going to control the scale. So, of course, now that we know one is too big, we're going to just actually, instead of diving into these, decimals, we can add another vector math here. Change this to multiply and connect it here and connect it to a value. So now this value can control the overall scale. Best part is that even with 0, I think we need to connect this after this. So let's connect this here, and then let's just connect this guy here. First, let's decrease the 1 here to this much and the 0 part to like 0.2 or something like that, right? Yeah. And then let's increase the multiply here. Wait, why is nothing happening? That's because I have made the wrong connections. And now we can do this, and then we will actually see everything that is happening. Let's change this to 0, and then let's start from 0 and just increase it to whatever value we want. So let's say we want this to be 1 to 0.5 to 1. It's okay if the stones from the bottom starts showing up. And then I'm going to play with the density because, of course, the density is too much. So I'm going to drop this down to like, I don't know, 500 or something like that. How many instances are we getting? 372. Okay, so now we have, as we see here, we've given something, and the stones are huge, I must say, honestly. So I'm gonna work on that a little bit. Let's change this to 0.25 to 0.5, and then multiply this to see what we can get. Yeah, I think this is fine. One thing I have to say is that now after everything is done, our stones are like way out of whack, right, in terms of the noise. And that is because of, I think it's because of this multiply. So I'm gonna just chill on this a little bit. I think that looks better. Let's give it some detail. So, 1.2 something, and then detail roughness. It's fine, I think. We can drop the scale to like 15 maybe. Yeah, that looks much better. Let's first kind of sort this mess out, right? Let's just hide all of this. Okay, so now this one is the terrain, and then this one is the water. This is the riverside pebbles. So I'm gonna go with quadratic bezier, and I'm gonna just connect it here. Okay, so first thing first, set everything 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 on everything. Then let's start. So our start position is something like, first of all, let's pick this up to like somewhere where we just begin to see it. Then let's move the Y. Yeah, we want to move the Y here, and then X at the back over here. And for the end position, I want to kind of have the same height, but move it towards the opposite, which is, let's give it some more height. Y plus and X minus. Now if we look at the top, now it's bent out because our X and Y handles are different right now. So I'm just gonna paste these values here, bring it up. Let's go to the top view and just align everything. For the start, I guess this one is fine. For the Y, we can just post it over here somewhere, something like this. And then we can move the X guy over here, reduce the Y a little bit again, and then push on the X again. And for the last point, we can again just first of all pull the Y back because it's way far out there. Pull the X over here, and I think we are already good here. Right, so let's now go and try to create this wall. And of course, we're going to need a lot of space here. So I'm going to move all this upstairs and just push this guy here so we have some space now. And then we can go to the viewer node so we don't have anything else but our spline, right? We don't want to focus on anything else right now. So I think the first thing is to go IOP. And I'm going to do this slightly further ahead because, of course, the instances will need to be created. And the instance I'm going to create is going to be on a line. We need to, right now, there's only 2 points. So we will need to resample it. So now we need to create the points that we're going to attach to this. I'm just going to go out and I'm going to select the glass as well. And then I'm going to come back in. Now, as you can see, these are kind of leaving the plane here, right? So I'm going to change this to like 0.5 meters maybe, right? or we could just go here and select the top faces over here. Oh, we are at that. Okay, so like this, and then go Command plus, select one more, try to raise it GZ just a bit, going back to where we were. And now if we try 1 meter, it might just be justified or not, we don't know for sure. Now what is the shape that we want to create here? And let's just go start with the basics. Curve to mesh, I'm gonna connect a circle here, curve circle. I'm just gonna give it like 4 points and drop the radius down to something like this. Let's turn off this, focusing on just one pole, and we want to design this to the best of our abilities. So let's widen it up a bit to 0.2, right? And we of course fill the caps here. Let's go to a resample curve here, because we're gonna need some points in this line. Right now it just has 2, and then in here it has 10 points, so of course we'll need more than that. Let's go 30 points on this line. And as you can see, we are starting to see some errors here, and that is not because of the error in the mesh, that's because the clipped start distance is too low and we have turned on the shadows. So let's turn off the shadow and cavity both. This is going to speed up our viewport as well. Now as you can see here, of course this is too wide, but I mean we're going to sculpt on this using geometry nodes. So let's go SCR, set curve radius, and connect a spline parameter. You can just type factor, and I think one of the first options it will give us is the spline parameter. Then I'm going to go float curve, and then we can from here decide to do this. Now of course let's spread this guy out as much as we can. So of course it starts wide and it's like it kind of ends slim, right? Let's see, can we move this guy till here? That would be too much, right? I think I'm gonna turn on the wireframe so I can see the geometry that I have. Okay, so let's just move this a bit over here. And then here we can turn this into a auto clamped, so we get this kind of a dome kind of a shape. And then I'm gonna drop a sharp point here, and I'm gonna draw another point here, and I'm gonna just drop this one down, so it creates kind of a gap in between them. Another point to kind of establish the gap, but it's too close. So let's move all of this behind. I'm just gonna figure out. This looks like a shape that we would probably not want. I think we did a bit too much. We should just move one line above this. So I'm gonna drag this here, and I'm gonna drag this guy over here. Yeah. And then I'm gonna drag this here. Changed all this to auto clamped. And then I'm gonna drag this here, change this to auto clamped as well. So we obviously need more points. I'm gonna change this to 50. So this will give us like a nice geometry over there. Then this depth is too much, so let's just pull this up to this point, and then pull this one up as well. So just a little divot. We can of course reduce the gaps here, because we do have points now. Let's increase the gap a little more. Oh, this is an interesting shape. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna then lift here, I guess. Yeah, okay, I like this shape. We need to make sure to change all of them to like auto clamped, because that's not something that is a auto thing. Okay, let's go 100. You know what, whatever, we have a still image, so let's do our best. But if you're gonna go for a video, then this resolution is just not feasible, right? Now we can overall drop the radius here. Yeah, like, okay, this and then this, right? I just need one line here, and I think that will complete everything. Okay, done. I think we have finished it. Now the last thing we want to do is kind of flatten everything. So we just need to make sure that this point is at 1 and the gaps and everything, they are at the same point. So like this one is at y.75 and this one is at 7413. So we need to maintain that consistency. Keep an eye on this so that all your points are auto clamped, not free auto handle. Okay, so let's sit with this. Let's close this. Now this is not, of course, finished. This is just a part of it. We can delete this. We can kind of club this together now. Okay, then we can delete this and just take a look. Okay, that's a lot of them. Let's first fix the rotation. So it will be align rotation to vector. On the vector, we're going to connect the tangent as usual. And if we align to y, are we straight on z? No, we're not. Okay, so we can't align with the tangent then. How about normal? There is a bit of a tilt over there. And I think one thing we can do is set curve normal. Okay, minimum twist z up. Okay, we'll just change it to z up then. Right, and then if we can just see x and y are both equally aligned. For now, let's stick to this, and of course that is it, I guess. We can reduce their numbers to like 5, right? Select all this and actually pull this one in out as well, and I'm gonna move this guy here. Next, I'm gonna go for another curve to mesh and add a join geometry here, connect this here and add a line. Now the line is gonna be like a, I think 0 to up, right? Or something like that. Let's see, if we pull this on y or minus y, it's like, okay, kind of working. Not really. How about x? Okay, and this is, okay, so like, let's connect this one first and then try it on the y. Okay, z is just whatever and x is also whatever. It's gonna be y. So I'm gonna raise it till here. We start from 0. We can start from slightly below 0. That is to sorry, there is another way, and that is to view. Let's connect here, and where is that? Yeah, so let's give it a minus x and a plus x, and then pass an extrude. So combine xyz here, and then we can multiply it to another vector math. Multiply, change everything, at least this to -1, 1, 1. And then whatever feed here will gonna be fed over here as well. So like right now, actually it is quite done, to be very honest. What if we just pull this up a little bit? That'll probably fix that, right? But then we'll have to pull this down as well. Okay, I see now what's going on. So now let's first align this. Okay, like we can see all of this is above the ground now, right? So the first thing we've got to do is make a selection here, and we're just going to drop an endpoint selection. So this is going to give us the points at 2 ends, and we can move, sorry, move it like a little bit here and a little bit over there, and that's it. That's the final position of point 2. And then point 1, we can of course move it slightly inside, just something like this, and then something like this right now. So that kind of finishes setting up the wall, but of course we kind of might need some resample here, but not so much. And then again, we can give this line a little bit of shape after resampling. Let's go to like 6 points on this. So this is our wall. Now let's just see if there is any errors here, gaps or something like that. There is one, and we can just fix that very easily by this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just connect this directly to this guy for now, and then I'm gonna again do this, leave this. I'm gonna connect this here. Let's drop the count, let's remove this and let's drop the count to like 5. Okay, I think that's like possible. Now we need to fix one more thing in the angle here, rotation. So for that, probably going to have to use one more. Right, yeah. Okay, it's fixed now. We can actually elongate the walls now that I see it. Should we try that maybe? Let's see. This is probably enough. And then for the radius, 0.15 maybe, or 0.125. And then if I am to increase the offset here, so, and now it does appear suddenly that it's better. Let's see. First we will name things here. This is the wall, base for wall, or so rather spline for wall. Now we can just move things here and kind of make some space there. And then I think if we can just take the same spline and construct something behind it, probably might work. I'm gonna take this one from here with the Z up already. Like, I'm gonna show you a close-up. This spline already has a Z up attached to it. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna connect a node called set spline cyclic. And let's just see, let's just connect this here. And this will start showing up. And I just want to see what this does. Let's turn off this and let's turn off wireframe as well. Okay, yeah, I think it might just work out. All right. Before spline cyclic, let's go to this viewer. Okay, so this will give us exactly what we're looking at. Now, if we were to take a transform geometry and just move it slightly back, right? Just like oh no, not this side, towards -x.1. Actually, that's a little too much, too less. Yeah, I think that much. And then we gotta see how it compares to everything else, and you can see it's going off the charts. All right, so let us squish this on the X a bit till it goes inside. Squish this on the Y as well till it goes inside, and then lift it up over here, something like that. Let's look at it from the top. I think that's the best way to judge it right now. can again send this slightly ahead and let's squish a little bit more on the X and then push back on the X as well. Not that much, minus 0.25. So obviously, since this is like sitting below here and we're in a still image, we're not concerned with where it begins. We're just concerned with how it ends, right? I'm gonna add, as usual, a curved line. Okay, yeah, this will work, I think. And then I'm gonna add a curve to mesh and use this guy as a profile. Now, of course, the length is too much, so we can just drop this down, something like this. We can grab this, shift delete, bring it here, and we can connect this, and we can do another join geometry here and connect this back. I'm gonna attach it to this. Yeah, I want this transform here, and then we won't have that trouble. Yeah, now we want to delete the items at the back, right? But before that, we want to reduce some size here. So let's reduce the size of the height here. That's something like 0.7 maybe, right? Or reduce this a little, so 0.1. Thinner ones behind, right? Or 0.11 maybe. We can reduce this to 0.65, I guess. So I think for now we can just leave all of them and try a repeat zone here, right? Let's connect this here and delete this. And now we're gonna add a transform here. This transform on its own is not going to generate anything. We need it to connect this back, Alt Shift and this. So this creates a join geometry. Now we have like double the instances that we had earlier. We had 6, now we had 12, but they're all overlapping each other, so we can't see. So let's just first of all increase the height a little, and then decrease the radius of Y and X both considerably, and then move it towards the back. So let's increase the, okay. Oh, actually I want to, yeah, not here. I want to connect this part. So that means we go like this, and then we connect back like this, right? And we can add this here. And now, I mean, things are about to get squished, so let's select till everything and then just move it out. Now I will give it that the squishing is kind of getting ridiculous, so we need to like drop the size as well. Let's change all of this to 0.7, yeah. And then if we just increase the height, I think we'll find all of them inside there. Okay. The last thing we can do is add a single one of our guys. Where's the dude? Wall pillars, right? So not the instance, just take this much here, Alt P to take it out and keep it here, right? So now we can move this here, move this over here like this, and then we can play with this with another join. And for this one, we're gonna start it above, like something like this, and then this, and I'm gonna give it like a thick radius, and I'm gonna drop it down to like 4 sides, I think. Let's add a transform and move this guy behind. and raise it up. Not just humongous, it's actually interfering with the glass, I believe, from the back side. So of course we can't have that. Should we just go with like 2 iterations? Yeah, I think that's better. Honestly, like actually 3 is also nice. We can decide later, I guess. So I'm gonna like raise this up, make this like a flat kind of a thing, and then drop this actually like just here, make this 0, and I'm gonna play with the float curve again for this particular agent. Obviously too much detail here, so I'm gonna delete some of the points here. I think I'm gonna delete this part. Yeah, this as well, I guess, or this actually, sorry. It's the same thing, whatever we delete. Like we just want some space, right? Let's just call it top floor. These are the floors, repeat. So I'm gonna just make some space here and move this guy up. So we're gonna add a joint geometry here, and I'm just gonna like I think I can minimize this, and I can just place this something like here. I think make a connection like this. Now if I take the spline cyclic again add a curve to mesh and connect it here, so then I can get a circle, right? That would be like too big, so I'm just gonna reduce this to like 6 and 0.01, and then I'm gonna add a transform geometry and move it up. Okay, where it is, right? So that's like a little feature that we can add to the walls on the back. Yeah, I'm gonna add this one at the end, and I'm gonna change this to like 4 exactly. And yeah, this is the parapet. Okay, if we want to kind of you know, just add another transform to the circle and just increase it on, oh sorry, just increase the scale on one of the axes. So if we do this and if we reduce the X, we are kind of thinning it out, right? And it becomes sort of like a parapet. Remove this and place this here, and then group this up, call this a parapet. We can just take this, shift command D, bring it here, and then connect it to this curve to mesh, right? This one, I'm gonna connect it here. This is the one we used for the outer walls, and I'm gonna reroute it and connect it here. So then our outside wall can also get something, although yeah, we need a resample on this, so like something like this maybe. Hold up, viewer will give us just this part, but it's like it's way above the ground for some reason. I think we know the reason, and that's probably because we're connected to this. Let's get out of this, and then let's see. Oh, it's actually, okay, I get it. It's actually like bending into that wall, so we'll have to take the We'll have to probably take into consideration what we did to the wall. Is just take this curve to mesh here without the extrude. This is the wall. I'm gonna reroute it and add a join geometry here and connect this here. Then I'm gonna add a transform node first here. Let's move all of this up, and we can even, like, you know, stretch it out a bit. Right. And here. And then let's lift it up. So this will give us the plane that existed already. And we can't really see it. Let's go to extrude, mesh, turn off the individual, connect it, and just drop it down here. And then increase the scale on the, okay, we can't increase the scale really. Reduce the extrude to like 0.01. Are we able to see it across the board? We are. So let's change it to 0.15 maybe. And let's, yeah, let's just push it slightly outwards. Right, and then I'm gonna add a repeat zone here. Repeat zone, and then connect this here, connect this guy here. In the repeat zone, we can add another transform. Connect this guy back, and then we can do the same maths here for these two, right? Just stretch them out a little. And here we're gonna just be doing 2 iterations, but 0.015 slightly spaced apart, 0.15 slightly spaced apart, enough to probably make the top part a parapet maybe, right? So I guess it's this. Has it become parapet already? Not really, we need slightly less. So just over here, 0.215. Yeah. And now it has become kind of like a parapet. I mean, I won't really call it a parapet because it's still offset a little. 0.216. 0.217. And we can call it a day here. So this is probably where we finish the second episode. Alright, so with that we finish the second episode. I am going to continue this into the next part where we begin where we left off. Meanwhile, please make sure to support me by following me on social media. The links would be given in the video as well as are available on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you guys very soon.